Hey friends, we are fearless. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Frances Young, and we are here on a solo episode wrapping up season 3 with my 29th episode. Before we get to this, I would really love for you to know what your human design energy type is, so that you can follow along with what we're talking about, whether it's an episode with a guest or it's the Fearless Shorts. You're going to go to my website, www.thefearlessprojectltd.com. You're going to input some information and it's going to spit out something that looks a little weird. Yeah, that is called a human design body graph. It's going to tell you 3 important things that today I hope that you go forth into the rest of life, understanding what energy type means, strategy, and authority. And if not, just keep listening to the podcast. I can't wait for you to see what we talk about, what I talk about, and maybe get a laugh or two. So, without further ado, this is coming to you live on what I will dub as the last Fearless Friday of 2024. We are wrapping up the final season of 2024 and what has been a journey creating the beginning chapter of the This Fearless Life podcast as a 1-3 profile in my human design energy. This has been a true trial and error. This has been a true, I'm going to speak my knowledge to the world because I just need to. I want to teach. I want to share. I'm going to cut no bullshit. And we're just going to keep trying to see what people like, what I like to talk about, the ideas as to which need to spread the things that I care most about, in specific to human design and the world of health and fitness. This episode is going to be a recap of a lot of different shit. This is going to be a recap of my first 3 seasons. This is going to be a recap of my personal experience of 2024, but with a very different optimistic twist, is that at the end of something, when we finish training for a competition, when we've completed a job that we've been working on for a long time, when a relationship ends, when a new relationship begins, beginning and ending, there's lots of reflection. We like to look back and say, holy shit, well, that's what we accomplished and this is where we are now. Whoa, fucking pat ourselves on the back. Right now, collectively, is a lot. We're feeling a lot. And I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole right now, but we need a lot more optimism than the way that everybody fucking feels right now, myself included. So in the moments of reflection of my 2024 that I'm going to get real and that I'm going to get vulnerable with you are in a completely different mind frame than trying to think about just about what I learned. And yes, celebrating, I had lots of wins and all of these things. We're going to celebrate them. I'm going to celebrate them with you here, but in a very different way than how reflection has felt for me in the past of, whoa, that was a lot. It's going to, I previously have done this, but this is how this is going to transform in 2025 because I have the utmost fucking excitement for what's next. First of all, I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to This Fearless Life in all of its interesting moments in seasons 1 to 3. Season 1, we started out with, this is the idea of this fearless life, and let's run with it. I gave you a rundown on my life story up until the point of creating this podcast, and that you were going to learn about your human design through me explaining over candid, fun conversation with my friends and family, that they were going to learn their designs in real life with me, and that then you could learn from those conversations about yourself. Because human design in our health is the biggest fucking rabbit hole, at least of things that I'm addicted and obsessed with understanding. And it's confusing. I will have known about human design for a mere short 3 years by the time January 2025 hits. I am still blown away by the things that I already know a lot about. But when I go down those rabbit holes, I'm like, holy shit, this just keeps going. And we have no idea where human design will actually lead all of the people that are leading the field in this way. We have no clue. We have ideas and theories of what we've been told from the man who downloaded human design, Ra-Ahu. I always botch his name. All of our previous teachers and leaders in this field. We have essences of ideas, but we're just still along for the ride like every other human on the planet. Season 1, I spoke with friends, family, clients, people I've known for a long time, and people that were just internet besties. That was fucking cool. I had 11 episodes, and I actually rounded out that season on a Sagittarius full moon. I am someone who deeply follows moon cycles, the zodiac seasons. It is deeply woven into human design. So, of course, those things energetically line up in mysterious ways. We are wrapping up season 3 at the end of Sagittarius season itself. Season 2 was a true, let's just see what hits when I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall moment. I invited, again, friends, people that I had spoken to human design about, that they were curious, that I just wanted to have some interesting conversations and see if they wanted to learn about themselves and their design, if they wanted to extrapolate more, if they just wanted to talk about themselves and the things that they do, or maybe just have a really cool intellectual conversation with somebody that said yes to being on my podcast. I had people on my podcast that I deeply admire as astrologers, people that I have learned from. I was also just, as I mentioned, throwing shit at the fan and seeing what blew back at me. I tried recording what I entitled were fearless shorts as my perception as to how to grow a podcast and how to grow a following is to be as consistent as possible. However, my human design says that if I'm inconsistent, that's actually how I'm supposed to operate. That's a tangent I'll go down later. So at the beginning of season 1 and then well into season 2, I was releasing a podcast every single week, and I work full time. And I was pre-recording some stuff to have things lined up, but not all the time. So I thought, let's have some 10-minute episodes. We'll get more people intrigued, because I'm somebody that really doesn't like listening to hour-long podcasts myself. So let's see if there's a 10-minute moment. If somebody needs a little oomph in their step, they'll listen to one of my fearless shorts. We tried it. I didn't care for them at a certain point. I just literally stopped doing them. They did not elect my generator juice. Shout out to you, Jamie. I love you, my co-host. Season 2 was literally the months of July and August. Then a lot of stuff happened between August and now as I sit here to wrap up season 3. Season 3, I got a co-host, Jamie Glassman. I fucking love you. It's weird that this episode feels solo in this moment, but also cathartic. We talked about lots of cool shit. We talked about how much we love the human body. I got Jamie into human design. We met only because she was giving a seminar at the Stretch Lab franchise location that I began working at. Jamie and I had a few episodes. We had a few laughs, and we literally talked about whatever the fuck we wanted to talk about that was related to health and fitness, our life, the things that we care most about, and of course, as I just mentioned, human design. In season 3, I had one of, and my still current most listened to episode, I had a guest, Kira Sutherland, who is a medical astrologer as well as naturopath. She is an American, Australian extravaganza of a human, ego 5-1 projector. We had a fantastic conversation. We talked about health. We talked about fitness. We talked about astrology. We talked about human design. We talked about all the things that the two of us love. I had over 200 downloads on that episode, over 200 views on YouTube. Woo! For me, this was insane. I was like, holy shit, this is the moment as to which I explode. We did. So, Kira, thanks for that. And I can't wait to see where our relationship goes in life, because clearly we have some magic, just like Jamie and I do. That's a wrap that I want to say for the seasons. I only have 3 seasons because I chose to have 3 seasons. I didn't have a plan, but all of a sudden we've created this beautiful masterpiece of speaking with lots of different people, getting lots of different people intrigued about human design and ways to look at their health differently. So I know that so far I have achieved what my soul feels is purpose with creating something from nothing. Okay, we're gonna sit back on my couch now because we're gonna see what other accumulations we get to about reflecting on 2024 for myself, my design, giving other tidbits of information about human design and fitness, seeing how emotional we get, and giving you something to look forward to and intrigue you for season 4, yo. Because Jamie and I are coming back. And maybe a moment to take for yourself that you feel some excitement, some joy at a time where it just is like, we don't know what's happening and we're trying to cling to shit. I feel like I'm trying to cling to shit. But if I know anything about myself, about the human race, is that we're fucking fearless. If I can give you any vote of confidence in this moment, when you turn off this podcast, take a big deep breath, slap yourself on the ass, call your best friend, tell someone you love them, and remind yourself that you are fearless. My 2024 was one for the books. And how I spoke to somebody yesterday about reflecting, doing this final episode for the year, but also really wanting to change the conversation to myself about the energy as to which I wanted to approach reflecting, is that instead of feeling like, oh my God, I wanted to feel like, oh my God, that's incredible. I can't believe that just happened. January of 2024, I had a friend stay with me, Janelle. She was on the podcast in season 1 that I hadn't seen in 10 years. I got myself back on LinkedIn with a new profile. I was in the heart of creating live 1-hour lectures for a online astrology community. called the Narrative Astrology Lab. Whoa. In February, that was truly a month just all about me. I was really focused on self-love, self-expression, my sensuality. I was single at that time in the dating pool. In February, we were just making lots of connections. And this is when the true idea of, okay, like, Fran, you're going to, there's all of a sudden some equipment in front of you and you're going to make a podcast. Let's get down to business. Let's figure this out. March, we launched the podcast. There was a different vibe of self-belief that was coming about human design, how important it was for me. All in the background of the first 3 months of 2024 for myself and the work that I have been doing for the past 10 years post-university. Clients were slow, yo. This was the first time since 2015, 2016 that I was in a slump, from one where I was working to just the energy was not flowing. We didn't know why. That felt like a huge confidence deflator. We now look back. But it was all because in April and May, I needed to go through what I've written down here as a rebirth. I rebranded my business for what felt like the 10 millionth time because of the podcast, because of the Aries solar eclipse that we were able to witness in Ontario and parts of North America. We were like, world, this is Frances. This is the Fearless Project. We combine fitness and human design to change the fucking world. In May, I danced on stage for the first time in 10 years. Also a rebrand. Here we fucking go. I was so, wow. 2024 was about coming home, I think. Yeah. In May, there was a bit of a pause also because I moved. And I have moved a lot since 2019. Like a lot, folks. I moved June 1st, 2024, and that's where it really got interesting. June was about just having some stability show up. Just about kind of like settling. I thought I settled in September of 2023, but that was more of a roller coaster that we won't go down right now. In July, we found some excitement. We found some new people. I started working at a stretch lab. If you are coming into the end of season 3, wondering who the fuck Frances Young is and why you're still listening to this episode, I am a professionally trained contemporary dancer who is working as a flamenco dancer and teacher, personal trainer, stretch therapist, and human design expert. And I started working at a stretch lab, in which flexologists is what we are entitled when you work for a lab. We stretch people for 50 minutes and we make them feel better. I started working at one of those labs and I was like, I don't fucking want to work for a franchise. I've never been a franchise person in any way. But it was awesome. I met a lot of cool people. I even had the owner of my stretch lab on my podcast. Shout out to Dave. You're the fucking best. August to now, I wrote down some things about August and September, and then I haven't even written shit down for October and November. Because this is how real this reflection is to everyone. July, there was excitement, there was expanding, there was newness, there was new work, new stability. I was digging my new home. It was fucking summertime and Cancer season, and I was getting real vulnerable with y'all. And in 2024, I know I met the person that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with. I'm somebody that deeply cares about that. I'm somebody that believes in true love at first sight. For somebody that had been told many times that it's coming, for what I value most in life and what I want, what Frances Young desires as a soul on this planet. To be honest, I was kind of losing a little bit of hope. And then it happened. For someone who's seen a lot of trial and error and deeply loved previous and been loved, this is an experience that I can relate to. 1, my human design. 2, just the timing of life and what it's like to experience being a soul having a human experience. To get all spiritual and shit. I'm happy to report that now I'm a believer. From August to November, my life has skyrocketed in listening to my gut and my responses as a generator. I have done things I never thought I was going to do, just like making a podcast. And I've deeply fallen in love with my authenticity even more for being shown that exactly who I am is who I am meant to be through the eyes of someone else. We learned how to scuba dive in 2024, folks. We said yes. We said things and asked for things that I didn't know I could have, and I received them. And then all of a sudden, there's been a period of contraction. There's been a period of the natural flow of life for me to get to its next evolution, to round out and to get to the last moments of October and November and where we currently sit today. I've left the stretch lab. We're focused on the Fearless Project 24/7 again. We're still going through the holy shit moments, but waiting to respond as a generator and to see what comes next. So, we gave you the recap of seasons 1, 2, and 3. We gave you the recap with a very emotional ending to what was my 2024. But where are we headed? What is the energy right now? And what am I going to do with season 4? Let's get back on the optimistic train because we are still in Sagittarius season. And Sagittarius is our most hilarious, optimistic fucking sign there is. Sagittarius. My North Node is in Sagittarius. My day-to-day work is in Sagittarius. My partner is Sagittarius. I fucking love Sagittariuses. Season 4 is going to be the rambles of a true collaboration of myself and Jamie Glassman, my co-host who's been on and off in season 3. We're literally just going to see where the cookie crumbles. We're going to talk about our lives, ourselves being self-employed health and fitness entrepreneurs. And we're going to incorporate human design. You're going to continue to learn about our lives, who we are, what we do, and what this whole human design and fitness thing is. I'm truly going to bring back the Fearless Shorts. We're going to interchange them with episodes with Jamie and myself because I want this to still be educational on a human design front. I want you to look at this fearless life. If you want to laugh, listen to Jamie and me. And if you want some education, go listen to a 10-minute episode about the digestion arrow. Go listen to a 15-minute episode about gate 29. You're going to find it all here. When we're wrapping up on a year and what I was previously saying in this episode, humans kind of take a pause and they go, holy shit, it's Christmas. Now I have to deal with my family, but I'm burnt out from work. Holy shit, here comes a new year. Let's reframe that energy of holy shit, it's a new year. I get to experience another year on life. Another year on planet Earth. If anything that I hope that this podcast brings you is the reassurance that however you feel in your day-to-day life, whatever you do and whatever type of human you are, that you believe in yourself a little bit more, that you feel a little more fearless. The chapters of someone's life are very important. My chapters to get me to this moment as to which I am saying this podcast to you in your ears right now have been very important. And I feel like closing them. I like knowing I really learned in these chapters. And doesn't mean I'll never not bookmark and save for a rainy day. But this 1-3, we'll keep bringing that up, trial and error profile for my human design is like the first 30 years are done now, babe. You've loved, you've learnt, you've worked fucking hard, And now there's all of this unknown that's waiting to be revealed. If anybody had told me that when I went to ballet school that I'd then become a professional contemporary dancer, I would have been like, nah. Or they'd have said, you would have owned a gym by the time you were 25. Nah. You would have deadlifted 345 pounds at some point. Nah. You would have moved to the UK by yourself being like, we're just going to go do this. Nah. You would still live in Toronto after 10 years. Nah, definitely not. There are so many things that I would have told you, nah, you're pulling my leg. So why not get excited about the fact that I have no idea where we're headed in 2025, but that it's going to be the best chapter yet.